Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Welcome to another Tech for Success installment. Today, I'll be talking about how to set up a home office to be successful while working from home, whether it's for school or work, wherever you kind of find yourself in life. There are a few different tips and tricks that I'm going to talk about, and then we're going to go through some examples I've had of my coworkers and family and friends who've sent me their at-home work kind of setup that they have, especially during this whole COVID situation. So some of the biggest resources that I've gone through and read that have talked about how to set up from home and how to be successful from home talk about having your office set up in a way that is conducive to your work style. If you're used to a kind of bigger desk at work where you keep a lot of scattered notes and different things, kind of like I do, then if you can, obviously a bigger desk is what you want at home. Now, if you can't, obviously there's different strategies and different things that we can talk about and get you through to make you successful even in those different situations. So the first thing I want to talk about is location. The location that you have your office can be very important. If at all possible, you want to keep your office at home separate from where you have your relaxed time. You don't want to have it in your living room if possible, because that's where you spend your relaxed time, and you need to be able to keep your head in two separate areas depending on where you're at. I know for many, especially in this situation like myself, I don't have a space outside of my own room, which is also where I have my relaxed time. So that's one of those things where I have to keep myself very separate from work and my relaxed time, which really I do so by shutting down everything that is my relaxed time on my computer. So it's only work stuff up while I'm working on it and while I'm clocked in for work. Another strategy is you want to make sure that you can keep good posture and that you have yourself at kind of eye level with your screen. You don't want to be slouched back. You want to be careful being in bed or laid back on a couch while working. One, it's hard to keep yourself in work mode because you're kind of in a reclined and relaxed position. And again, it can be bad for your overall posture and health to keep yourself in that for longer periods of time. Like if you're working for 7 hours a day, you don't want to be in that reclined slouch position for that long. It could be bad and unhealthy for you. And then finally, just finding out what you need to work from home and having it set up the best you can. For example, I know that multiple monitors help myself and many others be able to kind of keep their work organized and not have their entire screen cluttered all at once, which you'll see in many of the examples. A lot of us do have multiple screens. For those who don't, at least they do seem to keep their areas very tidy, keeping your workspace clean and kind of up to date like that can also help with keeping focused at work, and you're not all over the place. So let's kind of jump into some examples that I have. So Amy Trosper, one of my lovely coworkers here, sent me in her workspace that she has. You can see that she's kept kind of her back straight up. She's got her laptop up at face level. The desk obviously is a little short where she wants it, so she's used some books and different things to prop her laptop up to keep it kind of above so she can use her mouse and keyboard down below, which is kind of the natural way to use a computer. She has a nice little organizer on her desk there. She's got herself in her corner what looks like a living room, but also knowing from her and talking to her, she's in her secondary living room. So this is not her sewing area or where she really spends a lot of her time away from work. So this is a good spot for her to be. She's used the wall to kind of set up. She's got a secondary little side table there to help hold her drinks and different things to keep her workspace clear. So this is a very good setup. You can also see she's a little cozy, slippers and a stand to keep her feet up on. No one says you have to be uncomfortable while working from home. So there's nothing wrong with the setup at all. I think this is a well set up, and she's really doing the best that she can with what she has to work with. Next, I want to thank Lauren Johns. Again, another one of my awesome coworkers. She's kind of set up in one of her spare rooms. She has the desk set up, an office chair. That's another one that I know people were having trouble with early on in this COVID situation from my coworkers. A lot of them working at their kitchen tables, seated on kind of those harder kitchen chairs, really, and they're having some issues with that. So that's another thing to think about if you get to the point where you're working from home all the time, or just as we finish out this COVID pandemic. You want to be able to sit for longer periods of time. You want the chairs to be comfortable. Um, she is working with a smaller space, but you can see how neat the work area is. She's able to keep her laptop again propped up so that it's straight level. You're not hunched over and kind of looking at your computer the whole time or looking upwards at it. You have it straight on. You can keep that natural posture and keep things kind of working there. So again, great setup, working with what you have, and following some of those basic tips to keep yourself kind of healthy and seated up while working. So this is from a buddy of mine. His name is Nathan Kirk. I want to thank him for sending me this photo. He is a programmer. He programs for a living. He actually has two separate computers here. This again kind of goes up and beyond what would normally be required for an office work kind of situation. But being a coder, he needs a lot of different resources pulled up, a lot of different things. So he has his main rig, which has the 3 monitors lit up there, which I know he uses for both work and his kind of personal gaming computer. He's got his laptop there, which you see he has some code up. That's his work laptop that he uses as his main coding device. And then again, another working desktop that he uses. So whenever he's doing multiple codings or multiple projects at once, he can kind of jump between them, keep himself where he needs to be, and overall kind of has a pretty good setup here for whatever the need may arise. So this is my own personal setup. Again, this is my work and gaming PC, which I keep everything shut down when I'm at work. So again, I'm not getting distractions from different notifications and different things, and to really keep myself in the work mindset while I'm at work and doing things, and vice versa. You have to be able to shut your work brain off and go into relax mode as your day ends. So that's another piece that I shut down, or at least lower all of my work stuff as I reopen and get my relaxing kind of daily relaxing time turned on. It's not the cleanest. You can see that I have some notes there kind of set aside. All of my monitors do work in tandem so that I can have multiple things up to be working on. I can have my email while I'm working on something, while I'm viewing something else. Yeah, my webcam is there so that I can be in my Zoom meetings, as well as my mic so that I can communicate effectively with teammates or anyone else who I need to speak with. So this is, again, pretty good setup. I've had it set up like this for a while. If you're running multiple monitors, there's different ways you can have them set up, which, again, is something that either you can find online to figure out how to kind of tutorial set up multiple screens, or you can always contact a friend of yours or even the Career Center if this is for a job or for professional setup. We can hopefully help you walk through, or at least get you connected with someone who can help you set this up. And then the final option I kind of have, or the different example, is actually from my dad, Mark Seiler. He has worked at home for 5-6 years now, I believe. He is a mechanical engineer design, so he does a lot of design work. And this is kind of his setup that he has. Again, you can see multiple monitors for looking up parts and being able to have CAD and his different designs up on one side. He has plenty of room on the desk for different notes or things he needs to have set up. He has his headset for whenever he needs to talk with someone remotely, which is often he has to kind of work with people and get different things set up. The fancy mouse on the left is his design mouse that kind of helps him run CAD a little easier. So really, when it comes down to your own personal workspace, it's finding what is comfortable and best for you. Everyone kind of has their own quirks and different things. I like to have a lot of different information up at once, which is again why I have upwards of 3 screens. I like to be able to jump through things, know what I'm working on, and be able to see what is going on elsewhere as well. So yeah, I hope you find this video and kind of information helpful. And really have this thought through. If you find out you are in a place where you can work from home even after COVID, or if, God forbid, COVID makes another round, we can all kind of think about our needs and even into our wants. What do we want to be able to do while we're working from home? What's the perfect level of work, and then what is the bare minimum that I need to work through? And I think we've kind of seen an example of all levels of that during this presentation. So thank you all for joining me for another Tech for Success. I hope you all enjoy it, and stay safe out there, everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to email the Career Center at careercenter@indianatech.edu. Thank you, and have a great day.